Hello and welcome back. In the last month, I released a full-length album and went on a 3-week trip to Scotland and Ireland. So it's been busy. And so this video is going to be kind of a recap of what that trip was like, what ClarinetFest in Dublin was like, and what my plans are coming up for this fall and into the winter. So I spent about a week in Scotland solo traveling. I left the day that my album released, just to, I don't know, get out. And I flew to Edinburgh. Spent about 5 days there, 3 nights in Inverness, which I think was maybe my favorite spot of the trip. Just kind of bumming around, hiking where I could, doing lots of walking, historical sightseeing, eating loads and loads of terrific vegan food. No one talks about this, but Scotland is a bit of a vegan mecca. Did not know. Specific shout outs to the vegan afternoon tea at Holy Cow Lounge in Edinburgh, Culture Cafe in Inverness, and Roya, which is Mediterranean in Glasgow. Can't recommend enough. Walking along the Leith, did Arthur's Seat, all of that stuff. Calton Hill, perusing used bookstores, took a couple yoga classes. I went to a couple events associated with the Scottish Storytelling Centre. Phenomenal, highly recommend it. I went to one of their Loud Poet events, and then to Good Crack. It's an event that's held in the pub and it features seasoned storytellers, but there's also time for people from the audience to come up and contribute stories as well. Went to Inverness for 3 nights, which was fantastic. Pretty sure I saw the Northern Lights one night. Great. The River Ness is gorgeous. Obviously went down to Doors and saw Loch Ness, Ness Islands, the Botanic Garden there. Just a great time all around. Drank some excellent whiskey, met excellent people. It was really fun. Then I took the train back to Edinburgh, met up with my friend Erin Cameron. We spent a few days in Edinburgh and then took the train to Glasgow. We got to see a production of Don Giovanni the first night, which was unexpectedly great. It was in like a church auditorium, so we weren't sure what to expect, but really the quality of the singing and the music was fantastic. And then the second night, Jesus Christ Superstar was opening at King's Theatre, and we saw that. Excellent. We took a plane over to Dublin, where we got settled in. We were staying at Trinity College in their summer accommodations, so basically a dorm room. The first night we were in Dublin, Erin was a little bit tired, but I went out to the literary pub crawl that I had been on previously in 2017 when I was playing with the Esker Festival Orchestra. I actually ended up getting the same tour guides I had back then. It's a pub crawl, but they talk about literary history in the city, and they do dramatic readings and scenes from Irish literature. Highly recommend it. It's a little bit of a touristy thing, but it is still really fun. They do take you to some good pubs, and I met some neat people, so I'll try to throw links in the description to some of these events and restaurants and things. Also for my own sake, because I will definitely be going back, and every vegan keeps a mental Rolodex of restaurants to return to. So it was a little bit easier for me to enjoy because I was not performing this time around. I was just there for networking, vibes, friendship, awesome music, and all of that was there in abundance, to be sure. It's always tough because, there's so many high quality and interesting performances and lectures going on that it's impossible to catch everything that you want to see. It was great because there were some times when Erin and I could divide and conquer. We also have different areas of specific interest. I tended to gravitate towards a lot of lectures and performances of like Eastern European folk music is something I'm really interested in. And I'm also a sucker for groove-based stuff, so I was at a lot of that. So last year in Denver was actually my first in-person ClarinetFest that I attended. I loved last year's ClarinetFest in Denver, but I think that this one had even more variety in terms of styles and genres and topics discussed. Just really a vibrant and varied program. I can't list everything I saw because there was so much, but some highlights obviously included Stephanie Gardner, Michael Lowenstern's headliner concert. Andrew Lamy did like a trad session, but with clarinets added in, which was fantastic. J-Funk was really fun. Aaron Ghosh was fantastic. Improbable Beasts was fan-freaking-tastic. Got to hear lots of Cornelius Boots arrangements and compositions, which, as always, runs the gamut of like face melting to super introspective. Love it. Evan Zaporin performed Terry Riley's graphic score Key. Got to see Sarah Watts perform some phenomenal contrabass rep. I got to catch lectures on queerness and the clarinet, teaching klezmer to classically trained musicians, yoga breath techniques for improving playing, the history of Romanian clarinet music. Like, there was so much that was just absolutely fantastic. I also saw a phenomenal Spanish clarinet quartet called Mad for Clarinets. They were so tight and so expressive as an ensemble. I walked into that room just not knowing who they were, but I was interested in the rep. They played quartet arrangements that Bela Kovac did of his homage pieces for solo clarinet, and now I'm desperate to put together a quartet to play those because they were phenomenal. Oh my god, we had not one but 2 clarinet drag shows. We had a headliner performance by Clarinet, and then I also got to see selections from the queer cabaret High Heels and Bass Squeals, which included Robin Saunders performing as a drag king and drag queen Brambly Apple singing and dancing. That was fantastic too. Like, just, I mean, 200% increase in drag content over the last ClarinetFest. I mean, let's keep it going. That was like 5 days of like wall-to-wall events. So Erin and I had planned to have an extra day after the festival was over just to kind of bum around Dublin a little bit. We caught some live music at Darky Kelly's, we caught some live music at O'Neill's, had our requisite Guinness, which is now vegan. The other thing that we did an embarrassing amount of was eat at a restaurant called Cornucopia. We knew everyone who worked there by the time we left. It was really good. I'm not generally a dessert eater, but I did indulge on this trip and I regret nothing. So I literally just got back last night. I spent all of yesterday traveling. ClarinetFest has got me feeling really recharged and excited about the work to come, and so I wanted to share with you some stuff that's upcoming for me and what I'm doing. So probably my next public performance coming up is going to be September 15th. I'll be playing with the North Wind Ensemble at Nicolay College here in Rhinelander. Our program in the spring was pretty eclectic in terms of time periods. It was everything from Bach all the way to like Yves Buglerian. This program's going to skew a little more modern. We have a couple minimalist pieces. We'll be doing Terry Riley's In C. We'll be doing clapping music. We'll be doing some movements of the Della Gila Woodwind Quintet No. 2. I'll be doing a couple movements probably from Jonathan Russell's piece Still Here, which I've performed a couple times earlier this year. And then we'll be doing a quintet arrangement of like a Granger tune. So that'll be September 15th. If you're familiar with the film scoring project that I was doing this spring, that documentary, Pete's Castle, is going to finally premiere on September 27th, but Scott and I will be playing some music at the premiere. Details to follow. And then this winter at Low Clarinet Fest in Glendale, Arizona, January 8th to 11th, I found out that my proposal to perform Pimpin' has been accepted, so I'll be traveling there to play that. I'm very excited. It's one of my favorite pieces to play. It just grooves, it grooves so hard. I'm excited to pull that out in the coming months and to get it back in my fingers and see if I can't elevate it even further, maybe with some extra style points. We'll see. That's what I have right now for performances. Other stuff is inevitably going to come up. I'm also working on getting my proposal put together for ClarinetFest 2025, which is going to be in Fort Worth, Texas. I'm going to propose some live arrangements of things from my last couple albums. I've also been, in the last 6 months, doing lots of writing and some composing for the next album that I'll be producing. I'm not going to share any details on that one yet, but I actually do have most of the texts written for that and some of the music composed. And on this trip even, I did write some poetry and write out some musical ideas as well that may or may not go into this album. They may get bumped to another project, but we'll see. So busy at work with that stuff. Glad to be back and ready to dive in on a new project. And speaking of the album, I just want to say a huge thank you to everyone who has listened to it and given me such wonderful feedback. I'm glad I can make something that resonates with other people, and I'm just immensely flattered that people even listen to it. I mean, that's time out of your life. The fact that some people choose to spend some of it listening to my music is very heartwarming to me. I really appreciate it. Thank you. And if you haven't listened to it and you'd like to, it's available everywhere that music exists. So, you know, Spotify, Apple Music, iTunes. I'm sure there's probably even like a YouTube topic channel for the album at this point. Oh, it's also on Bandcamp because I grew up and made a Bandcamp. So that's the long and short of it. It's been a fantastic summer and it's not over yet. Thank you so much for listening. Thank you for watching this video, and I'll catch you next time. Bye.